brought to you by Jack Daniels. Hell yeah, you should call your ex. It's only 2:30 in the morning.
A great man once said, defenses win championships. Do you know who that great man was?
No, Bob, enlighten me.
No, I don't know who it was either.
Oh.
Yeah, because offenses win championships in today's
NFL.
So
I
where
like
that
it.
guy was, I hope you were relevant in your time, buddy, because it's gone.
It is gone. We're talking about offensive football right now. And we got two pretty good ones. Obviously, two very different offenses, the way that they run football. Bob, tell us a little bit about San Francisco.
San Francisco, well, I like what they do. As I mentioned before, it's almost like they were building this offense around their quarterback before they even had that quarterback in place. Having the three-headed monster in the backfield with Kendall Hunter, Michael James, and Frank Gore.
Oh, yeah.
Getting two or three of those guys back there behind the quarterback, that's just disastrous for any defense. It's got to look back there and decide who they're going to cover, how they're going to do it, who's going to get sent where. And then the receiving core, far from elite for San Francisco, but Crabtree, when he can get separation, he's great. It's just a matter of him getting a lot of attention that stifled him a little bit, and I think kept him from taking that step to that next level of being considered an elite receiver, because I do think he's got the skill set to do so.
Preach it.
Just not on the right team. Then you've got Randy Moss, whose greatest days are behind him, far, far behind him.
According to Randy Moss, he's the greatest receiver of all time.
All time.
All time. So
you
can't argue with.
Throw the stats out the window.
Throw the stats out the window. You can't argue with Randy Moss.
Randy Moss. So they have the greatest receiver of all time in Randy Moss. And then in the tight end position, they've got a real possession receiver by the name of Vernon Davis.
Yeah.
Who, when the lights go on, this guy follows.
Yeah, he goes to play. I really like what San Francisco's doing as far as this whole zone read. It's starting to become really big in the NFL, and they've totally adapted their offense to the strength of their quarterback, Colin Kaepernick. The thing that makes the zone read work, though, is really good offensive line play and a great bruising running back, and also some speed, and which they have with Gore and Kendall and Michael James. They have a good combination of bruiser and speed within those three.
Definitely.
But that offensive line is phenomenal. I mean, the way that they have built that team with Iapati and Joe Staley, the way that they're really getting good play out of them, that opens up all these lanes, all these passing windows that Kaepernick's able to throw to, and all of these great, great runs that you see. Not a lot of people give notice to the offensive line, but watch in this game, watch San Francisco's offensive line, the physicalness in which they play. They're able to open up all those passing windows and all those running lanes that Kaepernick, Gore, James, and Kendall Hunter get to run through.
Yeah. There's another offense set to play football this Sunday, and that'll be the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
We're definitely set up a different way. They got a different scheme going, but they've got all the pieces in place to be successful the way that they want to be successful. Primarily, they'd like to be a run team, but they do a great job mixing in Joe Flacco's arm.
Oh, yeah.
That big fat arm he's got.
Powerful.
You've got dangerous speed in Torrey Smith. That guy can get down the field on you in the blink of an eye.
Explosive.
Torrey Smith is explosive.
Yes.
You've got Anquan Bolden, who's having a resurgence postseason.
Ridiculous.
Ageless wonder.
Yes.
Never really completely fell off, but over the past month,
he's turned it on.
Yeah, turned it right on.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, I said they wanted to be primarily a running team when they can be with Ray Rice. When he's going, and that's not broken, they don't try to fix it, which is something that seemed like it took them a couple seasons to figure out. But once they did, they've executed to success. And then they've also got Pierce back there, who gives them another little bit of diversity in that backfield.
Gives them a bruiser type. Sure. Gives them someone that can get a yard, get 2 yards. I look at the way that Jim Caldwell, the new offensive coordinator, came in to Baltimore after the firing of Cam Cameron last month. And I'm looking at the way that Caldwell calls the games now. 51% of the plays called under Jim Caldwell have been pass plays. And then 49% would be run plays. That's very balanced. That's what you really want to see in an offense. Under Cam Cameron, that number of pass plays was 60%. And I think that was a little too much to put on the shoulders of Joe Flacco. Take a little bit of that off of him. Take that stress off of him. Give the ball to Ray Rice. He is your most explosive player on offense other than Torrey Smith. And obviously Torrey Smith's not going to get the ball 25 times a game like a running back will. So give the ball to Ray Rice. Let him run. Let him set up play action.
Definitely.
Flacco was so great in play action with that big arm and getting those big plays down the field. You were talking about Anquan Bolden. And I just want to tell you his stat line here from the postseason.
All right, do it.
Anquan Bolden, in 3 postseason games. 16 receptions, 276 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
3 games.
3 games. This kid, I don't even want to call him a kid anymore.
Well, you can't.
This grown man,
grown-ass man,
has come to play, and I love it. I was listening to him during media day talk about, 5 years ago he was in the Super Bowl with Arizona, and that loss, that gut-wrenching loss that they had, has stuck with him until this point. And just to get back in this position to win a Super Bowl, I mean, it was inspiring to listen to him talk about it. And Baltimore has a lot of those players. And I really am looking at the way that their offense is going to attack this game and really, really try to get under the skin of the San Francisco 49ers. And I look at the fact that Ray Rice is going to have a pretty good day running the ball to set up a huge game from Joe Flacco. That's what I like in this game.
I can totally see that. We've got all the big names out of the way. Some of the more important numbers that I like to look at when looking at an offense are how many sacks are they giving up?
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the regular season, these teams are pretty close. Baltimore gets a slight edge, giving up 38 sacks, while San Francisco gave up 41 throughout the regular season. And then third down conversions.
Oh, yeah.
Third down conversion success is
Stay on the
huge.
field.
It's
Yep.
huge. Keeping the defense off the field, getting them well rested, and eating up game clock, controlling the tempo. Third down conversions are huge, and can usually give you a pretty good idea of how the game went.
Oh, yeah.
Ranked 20th in the league, Baltimore. Being successful only 36.9% of the time. 25th in the league, San Francisco. Getting it done only 35.1% of the time. Now, those rankings are low, but they're only 5 apart.
Mm-hmm.
So head-to-head, they don't look that bad.
No.
But both these teams have problems keeping their offenses on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So we could see that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, I mean, I've said my piece here. I think the Baltimore offense is more complete. I think they're ready for this matchup. I think they're ready for the prime time. I think San Francisco's youth is going to come back to haunt them in this game. At points, obviously, they made it here for a reason. So they're a great football team. But I just think the way that this game matches up. Obviously, San Francisco's defense is phenomenal. We've said that. But I think that Baltimore's offense is going to be just that much better than that defense from San Francisco. And I'm giving the edge to Baltimore's offense in this one.
I like both their offenses going into this game. If each team didn't bring a defense to the table, it was so damn stout, I would say this could be one of the higher scoring games ever. But defenses will also be playing football on Sunday. But because of the defensive matchups against these offenses that we're talking about, and this was a tough one for me, as you well know, I got to go with San Francisco. I like what Kaepernick brings to the table. I like their backfield a little bit better. It's a little more complete as far as running back position goes. And although they're not the stoutest at wide receiver, I think Vernon Davis makes up for a lot of that. And Kaepernick, I just see him making some big plays, arms and legs, and getting it done. I'm going advantage San Fran for offense.
What do you guys like in this matchup?